Hello, fellow soil alchemists and garden revolutionaries. Welcome back to the Humus Heritage, where we're about to shatter everything the gardening industry has told you about building fertile, living soil. If you've been shelling out cash for bagged amendments while tossing perfectly good fertility builders into your trash bin, this guide is about to change your entire approach to feeding your garden. We're bypassing the traditional compost pile entirely and jumping straight into techniques that transform everyday kitchen scraps into immediate bioactive nutrition for your plants. Let's address the uncomfortable truth that most gardening centers don't want you to realize. Those expensive bags of amendments and enriched soils lining the shelves are costing you far more than money. They're often sterilized, stripped of the very microbial life that makes soil truly alive, and packaged with marketing terms like premium and professional grade that mean remarkably little when it comes to actual plant performance. The real vitality your plants crave doesn't come from a warehouse, it comes from the dynamic living ecosystem that naturally forms when organic materials break down in the presence of beneficial microorganisms. Traditional composting, while valuable, often becomes unnecessarily complicated and time-consuming for the average gardener. The reality is that you don't always need a perfectly managed compost heap that takes months to mature, when you can apply nutrients directly where your plants need them most. The ancient gardeners understood this instinctively, working with natural cycles and waste streams without overthinking the process. What if I told you that the banana peel you just tossed the eggshells from breakfast and that last bit of cold coffee could be transforming your garden beds into nutrient-dense powerhouses within days rather than months? This isn't wishful thinking, it's kitchen alchemy at its most practical. Banana peels stand at the forefront of our superfood scraps, packed with potassium that strengthens plant stems and drives flowering and fruiting. When you chop these peels into quarter-inch pieces and bury them 4 inches deep near tomatoes, peppers, or roses, you're delivering targeted nutrition exactly where growing plants can access it. For faster results, steep a jar full of peels in water for 2 to 3 days, strain the liquid, and use this potassium-rich tea to water your plants. The transformation happens rapidly as microorganisms attack the fresh material, releasing nutrients in forms plants can immediately uptake. Eggshells bring calcium carbonate to the party, preventing blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers while helping balance soil pH. The key is processing them into a fine powder after cleaning and drying them completely. A low-temperature baking session kills bacteria and makes them brittle enough to pulverize in a food processor or coffee grinder. Mix this powder directly into planting holes or around established plants for slow-release calcium. For immediate availability, create a vinegar solution by soaking crushed shells in white vinegar for 24 to 48 hours until the bubbling ceases, then dilute heavily before applying. Coffee grounds really deserve their reputation as a nitrogen-rich soil builder that attracts earthworms and beneficial microbes like a magnet. Just make sure to dry your used grounds to prevent clumping, then go ahead and sprinkle a thin layer directly onto the soil's surface, around mature, hungry plants. Alternatively, you can steep 2 cups of used grounds in a 5-gallon bucket of water overnight to create a gentle liquid fertilizer that won't burn those tender roots. Potato peels work in a similar way when they're buried directly into your garden soil, encouraging earthworm activity and humus formation as they decompose. Wood ash from untreated wood provides potassium and calcium while raising soil pH, which makes it perfect for gardens with acidic soil but, potentially problematic for blueberries and other acid-loving plants. Just sprinkle sparingly and remember to test your soil pH regularly. Okay, so, general vegetable peels and scraps add organic matter and diverse micronutrients through the simple trench method. You just dig a shallow trench in an unused garden section, dump in your scraps, cover well with soil, and then rotate the location with each application to build fertility across your entire growing space. The direct bury technique, honestly, kind of revolutionizes how we think about waste and fertility. Instead of waiting for materials to break down in a separate compost pile, we're placing them precisely where plants will benefit most. When burying prepared scraps, aim for a depth of about 4 to 6 inches to discourage pests. while keeping materials close enough to the root zone for easy access. The slurry and feed hack, well, it takes immediate nutrition even further. Expired animal feed, whether that's stale dog food or chicken feed, releases nitrogen, potassium, calcium, and phosphorus when mixed directly into soil. Just make sure to cover it well to avoid attracting unwanted visitors. Aquarium water from well-maintained fish tanks comes preloaded with nitrogen and beneficial microbes, making it perfect for direct watering without any processing. Perhaps most powerful is the molasses solution. Dilute a spoonful of blackstrap molasses in a gallon of water and pour it around plant bases. The natural sugars and trace minerals don't feed plants directly, they supercharge the soil microbes that do the actual work of nutrient cycling. This is where the magic truly happens. These methods actively encourage beneficial microbial activity, transforming inert dirt into a living ecosystem. The microbes that colonize your fresh scraps don't just break down organic matter, they create complex soil structures, produce natural plant hormones, suppress diseases, and unlock nutrients that would otherwise remain unavailable. You're not just adding food for plants, you're cultivating an entire underground workforce that will continue improving your soil long after the original materials have disappeared. Historical gardening practices, from medieval monastery gardens to indigenous agricultural systems, intuitively understood what modern science has only recently confirmed. Living soil outperforms sterile growing media by every meaningful metric. Bioactive soil means more than just the presence of nutrients. It represents a dynamic system where plants, microbes, fungi, and soil organisms form beneficial partnerships. Plants grown in truly living soil show enhanced nutrient uptake because mycorrhizal fungi extend their root systems exponentially. The visual difference between plants receiving these superfood treatments and those grown in conventional conditions is striking. Leaves display deeper green coloration, stems grow thicker and sturdier, and flowering and fruiting occur more prolifically. The soil itself transforms, becoming darker, more friable, and developing that distinctive earthy smell that signals healthy microbial activity. Scaling these methods for larger gardens requires nothing more than consistency and observation. Establish multiple burial sites throughout your growing areas, rotating locations to spread fertility evenly. Keep a dedicated container in your kitchen for scraps destined for the garden, and, make applying them part of your regular gardening routine. Community gardens can implement these techniques collectively, with members contributing scraps to designated enrichment zones. Common concerns about pests and odors vanish when you follow proper burial depth and coverage. 4 to 6 inches of soil effectively seals scraps away from curious animals while still allowing microbial access. Seasonal considerations matter. Bury materials more shallowly in spring and summer when microbial activity peaks, and go slightly deeper in fall when decomposition slows. Avoid burying large quantities of scraps all at once in a single location. Instead, spread them out to prevent anaerobic conditions and, honestly, those unpleasant smells. The path forward is clear. Stop paying for what you already possess. Your kitchen generates a steady stream of fertility builders that most people literally throw away. By embracing these direct application methods, you're not just saving money. You're creating genuinely superior growing conditions that no bagged product can match. Start small with 1 or 2 techniques, observe the results in your garden, and expand from there. If this approach to soil building resonates with you, make sure to subscribe to the Humus Heritage channel so you never miss our deep dives into practical, results-driven gardening wisdom. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to break free from expensive amendments and embrace true soil fertility. Drop a comment below sharing which scrap you're most excited to try first, and let's build a community of gardeners who understand that the best soil amendments aren't bought. They're grown right in our own kitchens. Let's transform our gardens together, one scrap at a time.